Our first storyteller tonight is artist and entrepreneur Tirso Sigg. Tirso Sigg is an artist and entrepreneur whose work bridges sculpture, furniture, and fashion through bold design and craftsmanship. A graduate of Savannah College of Art and Design, Tirso blends artistic vision with functional innovation. Beyond the studio, he is the owner of Cheesy Jane's and brings more than 30 years of global experience in the restaurant industry to his creative and business ventures. Outside of work, Tirso fuels his passion at the gym, finds inspiration through travel and meditation, and loves spending endless time with his daughters, usually driving them and everyone else just a little crazy with joke after joke. Welcome, Tirso.
Thank you. So before I hit the spacebar, which I was told to do for the presentation, I want to give you a little introduction. So some of the images that I have don't represent, I mean, it's not me in the images because this happened back in 1987. And the story that I'm going to tell you, I didn't have follow-up pictures, but some of the pictures are going to be my daughters and my best friend, Magali. So anyway, we'll start now. Okay. I grew up in Mexico City in a house that was, let's say, efficiently populated. 4 siblings, my parents, and 2 grandparents. 8 people, 1 house, 2 bedrooms. If you wanted privacy, you had to wake up at 3 a.m. and hope no one else had the same idea. I was the second oldest, which in big families basically means you become assistant parent. My father traveled for work, my mom had 3 back surgeries, and my grandparents needed help. So at 14, I wasn't worrying about homework. I was running logistics for the household. At 14, I learned how to drive by myself, not for fun, for survival. I drove my little brothers to school, my mom to appointments, and my grandparents to doctors. Imagine a 14-year-old Uber driver with 0 GPS and 3 backseat critics in Mexico City. Because of all of this, I lost 3 years of school. When I finally went back, I was older than everyone else. And kids can be creative. And my classmates gave me a nickname. So they called me the fossil. But honestly, I thought it was hilarious, also useful. Nobody wants to bully the guy who looks like he's been repeating grades since the Jurassic period. Fast forward to when I turned 25, life was fine. But I felt something pulling at me. I wanted something different. I needed to get out of Mexico and build something for myself. A friend told me something that sounded really crazy. You should apply to work at Walt Disney World at Epcot. They hire people from different countries to represent their culture. And I thought, wait, I can get paid to be a Mexican? I have been doing that my whole life. Then reality hit me. There was just one small detail. I didn't speak any English, not a little, not broken English, more like invisible English. Luckily, my youngest brother was bilingual. I asked him to write me a speech explaining everything they wanted to hear in the interview. So he wrote it, and I had no idea what he wrote. But it sounded very professional. For 1 week, I practiced that speech in front of the bathroom mirror, smiling and gesturing, obviously with a Disney look. Confident, I repeated it hundreds of times, even though I barely knew what I was saying. The day arrived. I showed up outside the venue, and there were people everywhere. I thought, well, this is great. My chances just went from impossible to mathematically fascinating. Then, 3 ladies from Disney came out of the venue and said something in English that I obviously didn't understand. Half of the crowd immediately left, and then I asked the guy next to me what she said. And he replied, she said that the interviews are by invitation only. Now, my friend never mentioned an invitation, but also, I saw nobody had one. This was 1987, no smartphones, no QR codes, so I thought, I'm staying. Worst case scenario, they kick me out. Best case scenario, Florida. When they let me inside, I sat at the very end of the room, right next to the interview dividers. My strategy was simple: be the last interview. That way, I could hear how they ask questions, and maybe the interviewer will be tired and keep it short. So finally, my turn. She spoke. I nodded and smiled. She spoke again. I nodded again. Eventually, she stopped talking. Perfect, I thought, my moment. I delivered my entire memorized speech like an Oscar-winning performance. Then she said something else, shook my hand, got up, and pointed to the door. And I thought, great, that went well. I had absolutely no idea what just happened. Outside, someone told me, if they pick you, they will call in 3 weeks, and they will let you know where to pick up all the documents to travel. I was very excited, but nervous at the same time. I didn't know. And exactly 3 weeks later, the phone rang. A few days later, I arrived in Florida with 1 duffel bag and $150 in my pocket to work at Walt Disney World. I thought the hard part was over, or at least that's what I wanted to believe. Then they told us, tomorrow morning, be ready for another interview. I almost disappeared. Another interview, now with English speakers from all over the world? But there was no other interview. We had to learn about the person sitting next to us and introduce them to everyone else. Imagine how that went. But the truth is, that's it. I refused to live. That day changed my life. Sometimes the difference between the life you have and the life you want is simply refusing to give up your seat. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tirso.
So now I'm supposed to be here, right?
Yes, I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a few questions. Don't worry, it's not another interview.
All right, another interview.
It's
Well,
not.
now I know English.
Right, yes, exactly. And that actually is a perfect segue to my first question. You know, in your story, I could hear that you had to also overcome the fear of being a beginner again. And so what was that like for you?
Well, I mean, of course it was scary, right? I mean, to come and change to your life completely was very, very difficult, right? And in order for me to overcome certain obstacles, I had to embrace the culture and be with the people that really can introduce me to the whole culture, regardless of the mistakes that I will make, and yeah.
But how do you preserve yourself even when you're in the process of trying to make yourself at home in a new place and learn a new language and learn new cultures? How do you preserve you?
Well, I guess it's adaptation. I mean, I don't think it's a place where I cannot adapt and be me, as I've always been. Yeah.
If you were to write your own story for Disney, have you thought about what the story might be?
So like a Disney character and a story? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe an artist. An artist, I don't know, maybe rewrite Gepetto, huh?
I love it. Get him a contract. This last part is actually not a question, but a little gift that I'm going to give to each of the speakers. It's called a jazz prescription. So I have selected a jazz song for each of the speakers tonight that is inspired by your story. So the song prescription, the jazz prescription I want to give you, Tirso. The song is called Sueños de Coral Azul, and it's from vibraphonist and marimbist Patricia Brennan on her album Breaking Stretch. And this album honors her migration journey from Veracruz, Mexico to the United States. And this particular composition is an ode to an immigrant's journey and the uncertainty, the excitement for a fresh start, the pain of leaving loved ones behind, and hopes for new relationships.
Oh, thank you.
Here is your jazz prescription.
Thank you very much.